in this class today, we're going to talk about land trusts. And when I say land trust, we're going to talk about land trusts, but I also, the same concepts apply to what we call personal property trusts or paper trusts, 3 different things. Land trust is just the title. It's to hold land or real estate. A personal property trust holds personal property. Maybe it holds cars. Maybe it holds airplanes. Maybe it has boats. Maybe it's promissory notes, and that sometimes is called a paper trust if it's specifically to hold paper. But I know Quincy and I feel the same way about this. When I do those types of trusts, I put all the same provisions in one document to say that trustee has the authority to hold real property, paper, airplanes, boats, whatever it is. And then we might call it a land trust just so someone knows the purpose of this one is for real property. We might call another one a personal property trust because maybe it's supposed to hold boats. And I might call a third one a paper trust because it's just going to hold promissory notes. But the guts of it is usually the same, right, Quincy? Is that what you do for the most part? And let me tell you one of the reasons why, and Quincy and I have talked about this. Why? We've both seen situations where somebody created a personal property trust, a paper trust, because all they were going to do was lend out of this trust, right? So all it's going to hold is promissory notes. So all the trustee is authorized to hold are promissory notes, or paper of some sort, or cash. What happens if the trustee has to foreclose on that property because the borrower is not paying? Guess what? They're not authorized to hold real property. They can't. So we have to make sure that we have the provisions in these trusts that it may be for paper, but you got to make sure the trustee is authorized to do whatever they need to do, because if they have to foreclose, right? So don't get hung up on the titles is what I'm saying. Land trust is usually just so we can designate, oh, the purpose of this is to hold real property. Paper trust, the purpose is to hold paper. But we have to put all the provisions in every one. So I want to talk a little bit before I get specifically into land trust, the difference between irrevocable and revocable trusts for creditor protective purposes, creditor protection purposes. I can't tell you how many people, hundreds probably, in all the seminars I've taught all over the years who said, I've got a revocable trust, or I've got a land trust, or some form of revocable trust, and I set it up because I want to avoid creditors. I want all my assets protected from creditors. Anything that's in that trust, they cannot get, absolutely no way, no how. Who believes that's true? Thank goodness there's no hands in this room. Because a revocable trust provides absolutely no creditor protection in and of itself. There is no protective bubble around a revocable trust. Okay? An irrevocable trust is different. If I set up an irrevocable trust, I'm going to pick on Joyce again. I set up, I say, Joyce, will you be my trustee? She says, sure. It's for the benefit of my 3 boys. I'm out. I gift the asset to that irrevocable trust. I'm out. I don't manage it. I no longer own it. I've made a gift of it. I can never get it back. One minor exception. Can never get it back. It's gone. It's a gift. Because what's the general rule in creditor protection? If you can get to it, your creditors can get to it. Right? So I have to irrevocably give something away and relinquish all my control over it, with an exception I'll tell you about in a minute, before my creditors can't get to it. So if I have a revocable trust, and I could put everything I own in a revocable trust, but what can I do? I can revoke it and take it all back out. So because I can get it, and I can control it, and I can manage it, my creditors could get it if I got sued, and they won. So that is a big fallacy that some people think the bubble of a revocable trust is creditor protected. Absolutely not true. We're going to talk a little bit about how you can make it a little bit better with the land trust. So irrevocable trusts, if they're set up properly, can have true creditor protection. You can have offshore irrevocable trusts or domestic within the United States irrevocable trust. There are some states, and it started out in Alaska when I was living there, that have set up by statute the ability for you to create an irrevocable trust that is truly creditor protected, and you have the right to remain a permissible beneficiary. What that means, if I put $100,000 in a trust and I said, I'm out, I walk back, but there's one little paragraph that says, but, if I go up to the trustee and say, please, may I have some? You can say yes or you can say no. Joyce is my trustee. I can't demand it. It's completely discretionary with the trustee, but I'm allowed to ask for it. That is only available in certain states. I can't remember how many there are now. We get more and more all the time. But most of those states will allow a non-resident to take advantage of those provisions. And they do that as a way to drive revenue to their state. So you have to do things like hire a trustee in that state, put some assets in that state, blah, blah, blah. And that's not the point of this, but I want to say There are some irrevocable trusts that you can remain a permissible beneficiary, but that should be your plan B, and it's only in a few states.